Where am I? There we go. Hey, everyone. Okay, gonna be kind of a chill, laid-back one today. Very long day at work, as usual. It's Monday. You know how it goes. But I wanted to get this episode started, at least see where it kicks off. See if we get a little way into this. And get a little comfy. See who has the gun this time. Nazi's had it, then Rosa. Maybe Ava gets a gun. Maybe Hideyoshi gets a gun. Maybe Kairi gets a gun. Let's see. What? 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 Did I not save?
Hello there.
Hello, Felstrick. Did I not save? I mean, we know I did this. Who deserves the gun the most? Probably Kairi. Wait, what's happening? Oh, this is the episode 3 screen? There we go. So we saw those. There we go. Okay. I haven't appeared on your streams for a long time. Hey, welcome back then. Hope you've been well. We're gonna go episode 3. Banquet of the Golden Witch. So we had the Legend of the Golden Witch, the Turn of the Golden Witch, and now the Banquet of the Golden Witch. Good morning. I'm quite surprised to see you still haven't surrendered. The Golden Witch has extremely high hopes for you. Have you figured out the structure of this world by now? No. You have no chance at victory unless you know the rules. Please enjoy your game with the witch to your heart's content. The difficulty level is equal for both you and the witch. Oh, I didn't realize these difficulty levels were there. The difficulty level was extreme for the last one. The witch intends to make you all surrender at once. Okay, I was getting my sleep patterns back, but now it's 3 a.m. and I am here with you. Oh no. Well, I hope that's by choice and not otherwise. Hi, Evan. Good evening. Meow. Story is obviously fictional and fantastic. Any resemblance to existing individuals is entirely coincidental. I wonder if they did base this off of something. Alright, let's see where we're even starting here. We're at the mansion. The vase was very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was a member of Grandfather's favorite collection. So that I didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty, I was always given strict orders never to touch it. How am I doing? I'm doing well. Reading some Umineko. But that just made me want to touch it. It looks light, and yet so elegant that just glancing at it gave it an indestructible sense of dignity. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as Grandfather had said, it was a thing that shouldn't be touched. Something this beautiful should never be touched. Such beauty can only dwell in something so easily broken. Because of that, just the brush of a finger by someone like me would... Just like how a fun dream disappears with a poof when you wake up. It disappeared, fell, and broke into pieces. I realized that because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that could not be taken back. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not be returned to its original form. Grandfather will probably scold me. Probably very harshly. I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing, frightened. As I did, I noticed something. Something beautiful. Lightly dancing golden butterflies were coming towards me. As mysterious glowing golden dots shone in the air, the butterflies began to gather, one at a time. Oh, it's Beatrice. Beatrice, that reliable golden witch, had arrived. Great, here we go. Who might you be, kind lady? Hi, Mango. Smile. The butterflies kept gathering until they formed a cloud, and then she was there. She was always there for me. Hi, Doobie. Hi. Whenever I was in trouble, she'd always appear and save me. Oops, all witches. Good day to you, princess. Who is this? Beatrice. Would this be Ava? Because if this is the Ushiromiya mansion, it's either Rosa or Ava, right? Oh my, why are you crying so, and on such a day so well suited for a tea party? I broke grandfather's precious vase. Wah. Grandfather's gonna get mad at me. Oh, grandfather though, so this is Jessica. I don't know what to do. I see. That is worrying. The master really treasured this particular vase, didn't he? Oh, imagining how he'll punish you scares even me. Beatrice. Huh. Grandfather was a very frightening person, and when you failed to follow something he said even once, he would become so mad, with a rage that would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. Since I knew that down to my bones, I couldn't do anything but tremble and cry. I possess no magic that can scoop up your fallen tears, princess. But if you need magic that will prevent the master from scolding you, I might be able to manage something. Oh, really? Yes. But if you'll be gracious enough to believe in my power, princess, the power of belief is the source of magic. This we kind of knew, right? The power of belief is the source of magic. That's why Beatrice needs everybody to believe in her. Miracles only appear before those of great faith. I believe in your power, Beatrice. So please, fix this vase, please. If that is what you want, princess, then leave it to me, Beatrice. When she extended her index finger, a golden butterfly softly landed there and changed its form into her favorite cane. But even that was enough to give me a small glimpse of her wonderful and awesome magic power. She pointed her cane at the broken vase, and just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words. Come, try closing your eyes and try to remember. What form did you have? It was surely a very, very beautiful form. This is like how she fixed the candy. Close your eyes and remember. Please show me that form one more time. Were those words, or was it a song? No, it had to be magic. After all, can't you see? The pieces of the vase are rapidly gathering together, gently returning to the place where they'd been on display, reassembling into their original form. Incredible. See? Now it's back to normal. That way you won't have to get yelled at by the master. Kinda sus. Was Beatrice a kind witch that got turned? Did she turn evil because Kinzo broke her heart? Was she a very kind witch who resided on Rokkenjima, and then Kinzo... Maybe Kinzo even didn't just break her heart. Maybe Kinzo actually used her for her power and then sealed her away. And that's what turned her into the person we know her as in the first 2 episodes. Beatrice, you truly are amazing. You can fix broken vases like nothing. That's not true. Returning something broken to its original form is a very, very difficult thing to do. My magic can only make it remember what it once was for a short time. But the vase really turned back to the way it was, right? Correct. But that doesn't mean the vase has avoided its fate of being broken. All I did was temporarily get the broken vase to remember its form before it broke. I've not yet attained the high levels of magical power that might be used to restore a broken fate to its original form. At that time, the high-pitched scream of a servant could be heard from inside the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remains of the broken vase. VOD review? I could do a VOD review if you want. From what they said, it seemed a black cat had sneaked in from somewhere and had climbed up in the vase, causing it to break. I understood the meaning of Beatrice's words. At the moment I broke the vase was broken. Beatrice let me see the vase be restored, but that was a temporary thing. It didn't mean she'd changed the fate of it being broken, and so the vase remembered its true fate and broke. However, the one who broke it wasn't me, but a cat that had snuck in. Interesting. So she has the power to, like, briefly or temporarily, like, rewind or in her words, have something remember the way it was, but it will still meet its fate. I wonder if we've seen examples of that already. That's right. Beatrice never said, "Let's fix this vase." She said she'd prevent the master from scolding me. She can't change its fate, but she can rewind it and have the same thing happen to it in a different way. We have to have seen that at some point. Curious. The fate of the vase breaking hadn't changed, but the fact that I broke it certainly has. Beatrice cleverly saved me from a danger with the magic. It's very easy to break something. After all, you didn't need magic to break the vase, princess. Then, is fixing stuff really hard? It is. It's so hard that you broke down crying, unsure of what to do. Wait, is this Maria? Granted, she sounds older than Maria, but I'm not convinced Maria is 9 years old. Does that mean magic is easier to use when doing terrifying things? That breaking and killing is really easy, but fixing is really hard? That's right. With magic, it is far easier to break and kill. That is why weak witches lose to temptation and become intoxicated with gathering easy power for themselves, neglecting their true magical training. Aww. Real magic is the power to repair, to revive, to summon happiness that has disappeared, to summon love that has grown cold. And it can even summon a smile to the face of a princess who has forgotten how. Then, Beatrice, since you managed to fix that vase, does that mean you're an incredible witch? Oh, my days of training are far from over. After all, I couldn't make the vase forget its fate for even an hour. I'm sure my teacher, who taught me magic, would have been able to restore the vase to its original form forever. So if it kept breaking and breaking, she'd be able to fix it over and over again? Yes. When one reaches that level, they are considered to be an endless witch. That is the endless level which all witches ought to reach. We offer the utmost respect to those witches and call them by that title. So Beatrice, in the present, let's call it, did become an endless witch. Endless witch. That's right. To witches with the power to mend things endlessly, the concept of breaking doesn't even exist. They are released from all the sadness caused by losing things and are promised eternal bliss. Certainly the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to gods and ask for the power to withstand their sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey, searching for a way to withstand sadness. In that case, a witch who could revive all things would be freed from all sadness in the world. Simply put, that would mean eternal bliss. So is her magic? Okay, it actually makes some sense that her magic, the current Beatrice, the blonde one, that her magic is what's resetting Rokkenjima, which we kind of figured anyways, but she's essentially doing what happened to the vase. The whole family is the vase. They are being rebuilt and repaired and rewound just to meet the same fate over and over again. Interesting. I'm gonna run a 3-minute, just to get the pre-rolls out of the way. It looks like Bladecom has DM'd me the VOD review video, so I'll get that set up while the ad runs, and we'll run that right after the ad, and then we'll get back to the story. Let's see what this is. Full screen this. Okay, this is the VOD review that I was asked to do. We'll wait for the ad break to end. This is also Umineko canon. I'm so sleepy. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Okay, I'm excited. Watch it in 1 minute. Like this is a Fortnite streamer. 3-minute video. We're back. React Andy in the house. Hack God versus Twitch streamer. All right, and they're playing Fortnite. It looks like. I wonder if he actually has a mic. Oh. Damn. Damn. Classical millennial and Zoomer behavior, monologuing. I guess she's streaming, so it's a little more fair, but just like monologuing, open microphone. She said, oh, my teammate doesn't have a microphone. Instead of asking the teammate if they had a microphone, He just says, oh, of course they don't have a mic, and starts monologuing on open comms, by the way. Wow, very rude. Damn, he does not care. He does not care about the evidence. But streaming with open mic is like, well, in both ways, right? Like streaming such that this person can come in and just go off on you is one thing. And then like, hold on, let's see what the open comms monologue is crazy. That is modern. It's modern writing. I guess it's content. Yeah, it's content when it's content. It's not content when you're in the VC with people that aren't paying attention to it. Oh, Jorkin. Yeah, that's the cringe part, right? What? This is so cringe. Yeah, this is that's kind of funny. But this, oh my god, this shit. It's kind of bars. The Lorax appearance. God damn. He's actually talking about me with that one. Yeah, good for her. Get out of there. Interesting. The rhymes were pretty slick. I don't know. It makes me wonder, were they rehearsed? Perhaps. He did got bars. I will say though, if you're like, I don't know, they're kind of both assholes in this scenario, right? Like, obviously, nobody wants to get like cussed out in a video game. That sucks. But also, prior to that, she was like doing that. There's definitely a word for it. What's the word when you're like talking about somebody while they're in the room, but you're talking like in the third person about them? A lot of times, like, families do it about their kids, or a lot of times, like, you'll see it in like classrooms. Like, teachers will do it and kind of say like, oh, you know, he's really being a kind of a jerk right now, and like the kid's right there. And it's not always the kids either. You get passive aggressive like workplace people who do it too, where like, you know, she's like, oh, person obviously doesn't have a mic, blah blah blah, like person, you know, that, like, it's especially cringe when people think they're Jim Halpert from The Office, and they're like a streamer is somebody who especially would do that with a little more reason to do it, because that's like, what's the Reddit thing? ESH Reddit. Everyone sucks here. Oh yes, that is probably the answer to am I the asshole here. I think everyone sucks here. Because again, I think she was the first person to be kind of rude. Like, right, he's just no microphone or doesn't want to talk. They're just playing Fortnite, and instead of being like, hey, you got a mic? Oh, I guess not. And then like muting her Fortnite comm to then talk to her stream, which I think is totally valid. Even if she was saying the same stuff, at least like don't do the thing where you're like making a demonstration of him. And then, you know, he obviously just cussed her out and, like, I don't know, was quite rude. It was funny, sure. Like, a lot of the lines were funny, and the rhymes were pretty funny and well rehearsed. But it's also quite rude. You know, you don't have to interact with people on the internet if you don't want to. And I think in both cases it was probably just like a heart, like, you should all just mute each other or whatever. I'm a huge proponent of just muting the other person pretty quickly. But I also don't got time for bullshit a lot of the time. So I'm just trying to enjoy myself. So, yeah. Interesting video there. I would not want to go read the comments of that. I can only imagine how rude those comments are. Probably to both parties. Yeah, I think it's especially cringe to be like talking about someone while they're in the room as though they're not in the room, even if it's like to your stream over voice comms. It's actually worse that way because there's no argument that can be made that like, oh, it's just unfortunate that he was in earshot. You're literally on open comms where you're intentionally allowing him to hear you. I'm surprised you stream with an open mic turned on in the first place. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the content, you know. Top comment was, is it because I'm a woman, you're a professional victim? Ugh, gross. Gross comment. But that does raise a point that to the prior one, if you're going around with an open mic and openly talking shit, maybe you are trying to get cussed out for content. Maybe it's rage bait content. Very possibly. You, princess. And then I just play the clip again, and it's the dude cussing out Beatrice. Oh, it's a long, difficult path, you see. I want to become a witch. I want to find happiness. Beatrice, I want to become your disciple. I think this is Maria. This is Maria, but it feels like this is way more than, like, even 9 years ago. Do you have even a trace of doubt in that feeling? No. I want to become a witch too. I understand. Then, until you get tired of me, I will make you my disciple. Will you call me teacher? Yes, teacher. That's a good answer. Then from now on, learn the depths of magic along with me. I am also in training. Let us both learn the proper use of magic, doing our best to reach that blissful level. This goes back to me saying Maria, well, maybe not physically older than 9, has been through either a bunch of cycles with Beatrice or has trained with her for more years. Yes, teacher. Ah, a dream. Whoa. That face takes me back. An endless witch, was it? That rank I'd yearned for in the past as the highest possible achievement was now just another one of my titles. No, you might even call it my calling card. Persona reference? Every once in a while, being called that can be quite satisfying. I trained so many days to achieve that rank. It'd be a bit of a waste if I never got a chance to appreciate it. She shook her head lightly. If it's the highest possible level, that means there's nothing higher. An eternal dead end. The beginning of eternal boredom. I remember what teacher told me. When one is released from all sadness, it is the same as eternal bliss. That's what makes me think that teacher couldn't ever have reached that level. Eternal bliss means eternal boredom, and that's the beginning of eternal torture. But it all depends on how you look at it. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want and try to have as much fun as you want. Boredom is the worst sort of poison, which kills all witches. Even those great witches who are given the title Lady fear it. is the eternal poison that tortures them because the eternal bliss they've reached. Now that I've earned the name of Endless Witch, I truly wish I could speak with Teacher again. Is happiness really what lay at the end of our training? And just what is happiness? I wish I could talk with her about that now. Wait. Okay. For those of you drinking along, are you ready for my nuclear bomb theory right now? Beatrice, as we see her here, is Maria. The name Beatrice was her teacher, and she is now using that magic to recreate the events of the family conference of 84 or whatever this year is, and try to right some wrong that happened. Something happened during this family conference, and years later, Maria, who looks like this now, daughter of Rosa, who looks like this now, has come back, has taken on the name Beatrice in remembrance of her teacher to right some wrong that happened. You can clip that. You can timestamp that. I think that's where this story's going now. I think that's going to be the big twist. That's going to be some huge Kino reveal. That's my prediction. Dude, Naru math. See if I'm right. That's where my brain went. So we'll see if I'm right. We'll see if I'm right in 85 years when I finish this story. Naru drink. Ramala chug. Alright, cheers. Training has no end. When you think you've reached the eternal level, that's exactly the time to bemoan your own immaturity. I recall those words as though she'd answered me directly. I see. So I'm immature, am I? Naruhodo. How amusing. How truly amusing. The sound of painfully shrill laughter rang out. It was coming from my furniture. What, did they break their toy again? Beatrice? This guy stopped moving again. I haven't had nearly enough fun yet. What a pathetic man. Oh, is this Battler? I haven't gotten a chance to play at all yet. Let's take a look at them with the AI generation. Oh, look, there's like characters. Hold on. Beatrice, the endless witch who lived for 1,000 years. She is known for being exceptionally cruel, even among witches. She loves bullying the weak, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the witch is extremely powerful, but word is that she's become obsessed with creating certain patterns, so her means end up becoming... That's the same explanation. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory. High-quality furniture created by Beatrice. Beelzebub is the gourmet of the sisters and is known for being a big and picky eater. Her personality is similar to Mamon's, and the two sisters often fight over the same thing. She's always talking about food, which makes her a calming influence among the sisters. However, she also has that disturbing desire to kidnap pretty boys and store them in the food cellar. Whoa. Oh, okay. I'm dizzy. Oh, you can click through all of them. Where's the one that talks about food? There, Beelzebub. Belphegor is well trusted and known for being a reticent, serious, and responsible piece of furniture. It's RNG. Which one you get? Oh, Lord. However, this is partly due to her demonic desire to turn her masters into useless, lazy pigs. So she's Sloth. In that sense, she might be the most demonic of all the sisters. She's serious to a fault and not used to being treated kindly. Beelzebub is gluttony. Leviathan represents the other younger sisters and often represents the others. Deep down, she has a brutal, deep, envious nature. 90% sure that video was scripted. I wouldn't be surprised if that was scripted. Especially because, like, she's not just playing the game, right? She's, like, dancing back and forth, having the argument more than she's trying to play the game. Belphegor was trusted for being a reticent, serious, and responsible. However, the partly new to... Oh, yeah, that's Sloth. Satan takes the role of constantly angry class president among the sisters. She's Wrath. Yeah, wow. Peak symbolism. Lucifer's the oldest. Because of this, she claims she's the strongest of them all, but she's secretly aware that she's actually the least talented. That's pride for you. Asmodeus is always doted upon. This might be why she alone is kept out of the way whenever even slightly lewd topic comes up. She's always looking for a boyfriend in the hopes that her sisters will finally accept her as an adult. Lust. Mamone is quick to grab whatever she wants without any concern for her sisters. Greed. Her motto is monopolized through greed, which means she's usually the main cause of arguments. However, she's the most honest about her own feelings and the one most likely to try and please the opposite sex. There we go. That's all of them, I think. Pick. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that animation. All of the goats. That's you, chat. All of the goats. Low-level furniture in service to Beatrice. They are in great number, but silent and lacking personality. They obediently follow their master's orders. Their scents are closer to those of animals than humans, and they're surprisingly dull-witted. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean the description. I just meant y'all are goated. Which sometimes leads them to misunderstand. They have nature by... What is that emote? No, Lord. They might be low-level furniture, but they can summon an inexhaustible supply of them. Oh, yeah. Let me play. Be silent, filth. You keep devouring them like starving dogs. Of course he'll keep breaking right away, no matter how well Beatrice fixes him up. Oh, like the vase. You broke him the most, Satan. You just don't know what holding back means. Damn, this is all... D's getting the death by Snoo Snoo. My apologies, Beatrice. Please forgive my stupid little sisters. Fix him, quickly. Must you keep up that infernal racket? A single yell was all it took to make the noisy sisters of the Seven Stakes vanish. All they do is mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him. They only come to me and clean up afterwards. Truly, this furniture never leaves me bored. Once the furniture hid themselves, all that remained was a sloppy mess, the last remnants of a broken toy. It had no form anymore. It's hard even for me to remember its original form in this state. Better to make it remember for itself, perhaps. Oh well. I waved my golden pipe. Then I spoke. I chanted, made it remember. Come. Try to remember. What form did you have? After all, right now you pretty much look like a huge lump of scrap meat. I have no idea what part is your arm and what is your leg. Unless you remember, I won't even be able to recall your face. By the power of magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. What part should go with which part, and where should I join with where? That's right, just like that. No. No, you should be a finger on the left hand. That's your right hand. That's it. Good. Yeah. Good morning. Have you woken up? Ushiro miya batala. How ironic that your true nightmare begins after you awaken. Jeez. He's getting tortured. If you would just accept that I am a witch, you'll quickly wake up from this nightmare, and I'll send you to heaven. I am the king of Mount Purgatory. There's no escape from this hell without my approval. You call this hell? That's just useless. That's like sitcom audience claps. It's like, you know, the start, like, it's season 2 ends, season 3 starts. This is the first time in the new season the battler says his catchphrase. Crowd goes insane. I'm impressed you can still talk like that after experiencing the pain of death not once, like any normal human, but more times than I could count with all of my fingers. That's more than 10. Yeah, cheer track from 1972. This is why I'll never get bored. I never get bored of you. Yeah, no boredom problems here. After all, I get my pick of that massive tit Nachon with the dazzling asses in my harem. Thanks to that, I'm not likely to get bored for a while now. Ha! That's splendid. Otherwise, I would get bored too. So, my furniture. I fixed him so you can play as much as you want. Oh, thank you. All mine. Told you, your turn's over. It's my turn on the Xbox. Wonderful. Isn't it, Battler? Look how popular you are. Popular guys have it rough. Get in line, freak. Man, if you just stayed obedient instead of acting tough, this would go much easier. Nah, he's good like this. His screams feel so much better. Okay, let's not break him so quickly this time. Y'all hear me? Hey, you aren't running this show. So, Battler, let's continue where we left off, okay? After they locked Jessica's room with the... Oh, God. I thought they were, like, actually torturing him. They're literally just running through scenarios, running lines with him. After they locked Jessica's room with the master key, how did they return the key to the corpse's pocket, which was inside the room? Well, maybe, that's it. They used a fishing line or something, sending the key into the room through the crack in the door. Wrong. So naive. Oh, they have the red text too. Of all the doors that exist on Rokkenjima, none has a crack through which a key can slip. Oh, he was wrong, right? Okay, this time it's my turn. Where should I strike? Me. Back of the hand. No fair. Okay. Wait. Why is it just windowing her boobs? Oh, okay, never mind. I'll take the tip of his nose. Wait. Let me do it. Let me strike too. Don't be so slow, Levia. We've always done first come, first served. Okay, I'll take the top of his foot. Me too. I'll take his shoulder. Oh, are they all just gonna woodpecker into him? Keh. Your sisters, right? Play nice with each other now. I can't believe you're still resisting. Why haven't you realized that your false courage actually gets us fired up? Sorry, but false courage and being stubborn are my specialties. No matter how you all try to confuse the issues, I definitely won't accept witches and magic. Even though you can't explain anything with human tricks? Are you stupid? Know your place. It's okay. We don't have to force him to accept it. Soon he'll want to accept it so hard he'll start crying. Even now, he really wants to kneel down on the ground pitifully and beg for our forgiveness. Ugh. Ah. You're going through this so fast? Episode 3 already? Yeah, I did a 7-hour session yesterday and a 6-hour session the day before. I got hooked. This week will not be as long. It'll take me a while to get through episode 3. I'll probably finish it sometime at the end of next week, because I'm going to be out of town for a week, and I won't be able to stream. Beatrice! Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's so good. Since they know I can revive him over and over, my furniture won't even hesitate to break him. Good grief. Giving eternal rebirth and eternal death at will? Before the endless witch Beatrice, all death and life has no meaning. Even death can't become the key to escape from my cage. Come, Battler. Remember your original form again. I'll toy with you to my heart's content. Understand? I see. How truly pleasant to have a toy to play with for all eternity. Could this be the endless bliss witches gain at the endless level? I see. Yes, this bliss certainly is amusing. I'll revive you over and over, kill you over and over. Let's see, what kind of murder play will unfold on the next game board? Come, bring it on. Or bring it in. Let our next game begin. Ushiro miya batala. so good. Now, Umineko, episode 3. Oh my god, it's so peak. I really like my theory, though. I think there's some weight to that. It's kind of nonsense, but this whole game is kind of nonsense. If they pull this around again and actually take magic out of the equation by the end of episode 8, I'll lose my mind. It's like the same intro every time. Trying to see if there are any differences, but... I've really come to like all of these characters a lot. Burge arrive. Welcome to Rokenjima. Oh, here we go. Hey, there he is. Dang. Too bad Aniki hates cigarettes so much. Sorry. She's been pretty grumpy since last night. Please don't hold it against her. Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes? They're smokers? Ava had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more sensitive to them. When they decided to smoke casually until they reached the island, the two of them had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but the strong winds gave him some trouble. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a smooth gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame. When did you start smoking cigarettes, Hideyoshi? Just after the war. In the beginning, I was rolling them. Then I started using what I sold. So you were really already smoking when you met Aniki? But she's always telling you to stop. I never listened to her, so she's already completely given up on that. It's the 80s in Japan, everyone is smoking, you're right. Nah, men gotta be stubborn at times like these. Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph snickered. After being scolded by Ava, they'd escaped to the deck together with their tails between their legs. There was little doubt who had gotten her way in that exchange. So they're already on the way to the island. She isn't usually so short-tempered. In fact, she's usually more of a general, quiet woman. Every year she changes when this day comes. Is that so? To me, she looks like the Aniki we've known so long. That's just it. She's back to being Ava of the Ushiromiya family. But that ain't the Ava I know. Well, I know why she's grumpy. This family conference is going to be a pain. Yeah, you got that right. There's that plan to threaten money out of Kraus. We may call it a family conference, but it's just going to be a sibling fight at this rate. Before the family conference, 3 of the siblings had made a secret pact without Kraus. They were all facing urgent situations and needed a lot of money fast. The only one they could turn to was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushiromiya head now that Kinzo spent his time shut up in his study. For a long time now, they'd vaguely sensed that Kraus was taking advantage of the fact that Kinzo had lost interest in his own wealth. And they suspected that he had started embezzling that wealth to suit his own purpose. Despite being disgusted by this, they turned a blind eye to it while everything was still going smoothly for them. But now that they needed money, they really couldn't afford to let it slide. Ava had asked Rudolph and Rosa to form an alliance, and they were now scheming to take that money away from Kraus. Rudolph, both you and I are company presidents. We're responsible for the livelihood of our employees. Rosa's a president too. Well, as a hobby. That's right, sorry. Basically, we've all got responsibilities. Now that I've thrown down the gauntlet in front of the executive board, I gotta bring in that money, even if it means getting down on my knees or drinking mud. Same here. I can't betray the employees who have trusted me and followed me for so long. That's why I need to give some money out of Kraus, even if I have to grab him by the neck. Aniki and Aniki have always been at each other's throats, and now she's got to challenge Aniki head on. No wonder she's on edge. So, Ava has had a bad relationship with Kraus since long ago. Hasn't she talked about it? They were always at each other's throats. She never talks about the past, even if I ask. She probably doesn't want to remember. She's always been brainy and shrewd. Her grades were good, too. Compared to that, Aniki is just average. The simple fact that she existed would have been pressure enough, but she kept boasting about it and driving him to a corner. That fool. Why drive him into a corner so openly? I'd hardly call that shrewd. No kidding. Aniki regretted being born a woman. She probably couldn't forgive Aniki, since he was chosen to succeed the head just because he was a man. She'd always boasted to Dad, letting him see that she was better at every little thing. Father really is an old-fashioned person. Gender discrimination was part of his system of values. I'll bet Ava's eagerness to prove herself made him dislike her a bit. So this is going to be an Ava story, maybe. Is Ava the young? No, she was talking about grandfather. The young witch was talking about grandfather. So it could really only be Jessica or Maria as far as the people that we know. This could also be some ancient Ushiromiya. This could be Ava talking about grandfather being Kinzo's father. In this case, too. Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar and black tea? What? Who the fuck is talking here? The taste is dull and flat without it, but too much ruins the whole thing. Since you could still drink black tea without sugar, it was in effect saying that there was no need for women to study. This line is crazy, for real. Those infuriating words were what Nissan hurled at me in my despair, when I asked to go to college only to be denied by father. This is what Kraus said? I protested that I needed to build up proper dignity and an education as the oldest daughter in the family, making college an essential next step. But when it came down to it, father and Nissan's answers were exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. I had never taken the Ushiromiya name lightly, not once since I was born into it. And I've been even more careful not to take my father's name, Ushiromiya Kinzo, lightly. Our family is an old one with many traditions, but it lost its wealth and business in the Great Kanto earthquake, pushing it to the brink at one point. That was when father took control with his ingenious talent, reviving it to being even greater than it had been before. Not once did I forget that I was the daughter of that great Ushiromiya Kinzo. That's why I always made every effort to become worthy of that name. I needed dignity worthy of the Ushiromiya family, schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I couldn't quite reach father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance, trying to improve myself so I could be of use to him at any time. However, in the end, father never acknowledged my efforts. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than it was permissible. Side note, want to hear a crazy work story from today? It kind of has to do with this. So we were discussing, I worked for an airline, and we were discussing baggage policy. And the one person who was kind of running the meeting, we were talking basically about, I can't say too much because of just like business, whatever, but, you know, you didn't hear it from this Fox, but we were basically saying, you know, if you had to give away a bag, would you rather give away a checked bag or a carry-on? In a hypothetical, would you rather give away a checked bag or a carry-on? That was kind of the premise of the conversation. And one of the guys leading the meeting, because of Okage business, one of the guys leading the meeting, older gentleman, Texan, He was drinking a chocolate milk, by the way. My mind, the stuff I notice at these meetings when I'm like trying to keep myself like locked in is very funny. But he had an old school, like, crack open the triangular side and pull open the tab, like, chalky milk carton. The little square milk boxes. Diet chocolate milk. And he said, well, I think we should give away the checked bag. I think we should give away the checked bag. Sips chocolate milk. I wish I was kidding. Sips chocolate milk. I think we should give away the checked bag because 60% of our guests are men, and men don't use checked bags as much as women. Full stop. That was his, like, Okage business argument about why the checked bag would probably be, like, less revenue bleed to give away than a carry-on. Not even just, like, a general, like you could obfuscate that. Even if that was, like, your actual reason, right? You could obfuscate that. You could say, like, well, you know, in 60% of our guests, they seem to prefer a carry-on, or like our carry-on is a much more popular item, so it's more revenue opportunity. We shouldn't give that away. But he just flat out, he slurped the milk and he said, we should give away the checked bag because more of our guests are men and men hate checked bags. That was just like a deeply layered statement, and everyone in the room was kind of just like, and like it was, I don't know, it was like half guys, half girls in the room. And we were all just like, and then one of the ladies said, you know, as a woman, I resent that statement. And then, of course, we all laughed it off. But that one stuck with me from today. I was like, it doesn't seem... That's not okay. Like, there's no humor to be found there. And, like, that was a no-chill kind of statement. And then he just, like, we just walked forward in the meeting as we normally do in things like this. Yeah, that was an interesting weird business moment. Business without the Okage. Yeah, that was weird business. Anyways, Ava definitely takes a carry-on bag on her luggage. When was it that I came to understand that? It may have been as early as my childhood years, but I was going to have to wait until I grew up before I could truly discriminate business. Compared to me, you couldn't have said that. Kraus, my older brother of 2 years, worked hard at all to become deserving of the Ushiromiya family name. He told me many times since my early childhood that he would naturally succeed father, simply because he was born a man. He kept on repeating that, as though he formed an uncrossable gap between us. He gapped. Kraus gapped the matchup. I couldn't stand it, even though I always got better grades than Nissan, even though I became class president when he never managed more than vice president. Even so, Nissan was considered to be the appropriate successor to the Ushiromiya family, just because he was a man. Of course, you could find gender discrimination everywhere in those days. No, it was even considered virtue in that era. During that despicable time, people said that when a woman is born, she obeys her parents. When she gets married, she obeys her husband, and when she gets old, she obeys her children. But that was exactly why I wanted to turn that on its head. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. When are we getting gapped business? It's just Slayer. That's just an image of Slayer. However, I eventually realized that all of my efforts had been doomed from the beginning. So, first of all, let's go. We're getting an Ava story. Super based. Second of all, maybe Ava is Beatrice. They do talk very similarly. Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar and black tea? The taste... Oh, yeah, this line. What do you mean by that, Nissan? Wouldn't you say schooling for women is a lot like fat in chocolate milk? It's unnecessary. Just as there are roles that only men can fill, there are also roles that can only be filled by women, correct? I do believe giving birth to children, raising them, and supporting the master of the house are roles that can only be filled by women. He says as Genji is right there, supporting the master of the house, and also with 2 children that he birthed. Are you trying to say there's no need for a woman to work or study? I wouldn't go that far. Taking an unschooled woman is tiring and nothing more. Talking to an unschooled woman is tiring and nothing more. Jesus Christ, Kraus. However, women are even more tiring when they're too smart. Schooling for women is a lot like carry on luggage. It's important, but if we have to... Are you trying to say that a woman has to marry and hide in the shadow of her husband? That's none of your okay-age business. Though you're my younger sister, I can look up to you for the respect you hold for father and your desire to become a daughter worthy of him. Even I am capable of feeling respect for such noble sentiments. That's just disgusting. What is this about noble sentiments? I'd call that flowery prose coming from you. Are you pretending to be the head already? The decision that I should succeed the headship has been established from the very beginning. And yet, you seem to be laboring under the illusion that you might become the head, hence the useless and reckless efforts you've expended thus far. Hold on. Gouge the head and kill. So there's obviously the literal sense of gouge the head, gouge the chest, yada yada. I've talked about this a little bit. I talked about their positions at the dinner table being likened to body parts, right? Well, what if this riddle is actually alluding to, like when it says gouge the head and kill, what if it's saying just abolish the concept of a family head and kill that concept? Now, I don't know what the rest of these could be referring to with regard to that, but what if that is the sentiment being said in this thing that Kinzo wrote up, saying, forget about the family head, you know, just you know, work together, perhaps. Reckless efforts? Is it really that bizarre for me to say I want to go to college? Penny, girls cannot learn science? Yes, it is bizarre. You undoubtedly are the oldest daughter of the glorious Ushiromiya family. One day you will support the family crest by being wed to the partner most valuable for father. However, excessive learning is not what is being asked of you. What you need are gentle feelings that will allow you to care for your husband, with the ability to handle housework, and a humble demeanor that will reflect well on the master of your household. These are all skills you lack utterly. This is why she learned martial arts, dude. In the end, can you really call yourself a suitable daughter to the Ushiromiya family? I have no intention of being some secluded lady. I just want to become Bazingo. I just want to become a person most capable of assisting father at his work. But Kinzo. Then should you do something in a manner befitting of the Ushiromiya family daughter? What is it with you? You're still mannish, even at your age, and you've never learned how to wear makeup in a way that will please men, much less how to cook and do housework. Dude, Ava better kill everybody this episode. There's no witch. Episode 3, there's no witch. Ava just kills everybody. I hear you've been learning how to brawl. That's rude. The martial arts aren't brawling. They're a perfect way to train and discipline the mind. And when it's needed, I take more than enough care to act as a woman should. What are you trying to say? That women should be slaves who work for men? So I mustn't be so forward? It isn't elegant to say it out loud, but I think a few unpleasant words are necessary in order to correct your mistake. But let me say it plainly. Women exist to serve men, and men exist to provide for women. The woman's job is to protect a man's back, to protect his house and raise his children. Ava's gonna succumb to the Satsui no Hado at this point? Yeah. Most women realize that without being told. They realize it on their own. But even after all these years, you still haven't realized that about yourself. So I've decided to clear away that misunderstanding for you before you leave this family. You ought to thank me. This is an insult to all women. No, wait. I've never even thought of myself as a woman, and I've never depended on anyone because I'm a woman. How am I inferior to you, Nissan? In grades and accomplishments, in everything else, I'm better. So how can you look down on me when you have nothing I lack, except the fact that you're a man? It's about knowing one's place. Every day, I have been raised with the readiness of one who will be the head. In the future, that preparation will surely become essential. But you are different. Even though you will marry and lose the Ushiromiya family name, you're being trapped by this unnecessary illusion. Dude, Ava's been trying her whole life just to, like, live up to her shitty family's expectations. And then she, like, surpassed them and still, like, she didn't even take Hideyoshi's name. She made Hideyoshi take the Ushiromiya name just to impress her shitty family. That's so tragic. What's your complaint? Even if you had been born a man, the successor to the headship still probably wouldn't have been you. When you are so unsatisfied that you insist on attacking me, even now. What's my complaint, you say? Nissan, you're always like that. Looking down on me because you'll succeed the head. Even though... What's my complaint, you say? I've got a billion of them. Grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget keep floating through the back of my mind. They all built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as a shameful moan. Ugh. What's all this noise? God isn't the only one who holds silence as a virtue. Wait, had he said that prior? Because I think you said that in chat yesterday. Father. He'd probably overheard our siblings fight. Father entered with a clearly unhappy face. Kuraus. Are you fighting with your siblings again? Why don't you have the dignity to act as a leader for your brother and sisters? How shameful. I'm embarrassed to hear this from my eldest son. Get his ass. In a flash, he struck Krause's face. He says it once in part 1. Okay. I readied myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit. My apologies, Father. Dignity isn't the only thing you lack. There's much more. You're immature in everything. And even so, you pretend like you're an adult. Realize that it's 100 years too early for you to talk like that, and devote yourself to your studies. Don't make me lament my son's incompetence anymore. Yes. I will continue to strive so that I can become a person worthy of succeeding you, Father. I think that is a general Japanese expression, the, like, you're 100 years too early. They use that a lot in, like, anime and stuff, and I think that's such a hard line. It was as if those words were... It's like... It's such a hard line, because it's basically like, even if you worked the rest of your life, you still would not be good enough to make the claim that you are making now. It's such a good line. It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by Father, he was still bragging at me about how he was special, about how he was the successor. I don't know who says it in... I definitely heard it in a recent anime, probably a sports anime. I'm trying to think of what the most recent sports anime I watched was. I want to say it's a trading card, too. You're 100 years too early, anime. Years too early, Tropepedia. One Piece characters are generally fond of this, but of note, Shanks says it. It's probably a One Piece card that I'm thinking of. They say it everywhere, huh? Oh yeah, it's just in everything. Trying to think what I know I heard this in something recently. Trying to see what have I been watching recently? I've been watching crap. Echo says it in ping pong? Okay, that's where I heard it. That's 100% where I heard it. Never forget that one trainer in Brock's gym who says you're 10,000 light years too early to challenge Brock. Brock, the worst gym leader with a level 7 Onyx and a level 11 Geodude or something. Right next to the town full of all the Squirtles and Bulbasaurs. I just couldn't stand it. I finally spoke on what was on my mind. Even though I realized that it would be improper for a member of the Ushiromiya family to do such a thing. Father, please tell me how I'm inferior to him. I've tried so hard, studied so hard to become a person who won't bring shame to your name. Please tell me how I'm inferior. How can I improve myself enough to earn your acknowledgement? I feel like Kinzo's probably woke enough that he would, like, not just shit on someone for being a woman, because he idolizes Beatrice above all else. That again? How many times do I have to say it before you'll understand? He does kind of hate women, though, still, because he's talked about his succession and just, like, immediately was like, yep, no way Jessica, Ava, or Maria can do it. I expect nothing from you. Women should be women and just learn how to cook and sew. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I expected anything different. You aren't prepared at all as a woman. In you, I don't see a trace of the mindset needed to serve one's husband, to earnestly devote oneself to a man's needs. Light years are a measure of distance? Wait, that's sick. What good are you as a woman? Do you realize that you're a daughter of the Ushiromiya family, and yet you only want to learn things so that you can act like a man? Your duty is not to imitate Kraus. Don't you even understand your own duty? As a member of the Ushiromiya family, I won't bring shame to your That's it. That's where you're already wrong. Your duty is to marry out of the family and bring me a man who is profitable to me. And then you will devote yourself to your husband, give birth to children, and multiply. Be a good wife who brings praise to your husband's family. Just what is it that you can do to please a man? Do you think you can make tea? Look, we love tea in this household. Do you have any talent in cooking? You have nothing. All you've done is try to mimic Kraus, haven't you? Kraus will succeed the Ushiromiya family. If you are unsatisfied with that, then you are disobeying me. Are you saying you'll refuse to listen to what I say, even though you're my daughter? Get out. You're disinherited. I won't let you call yourself an Ushiromiya. Disinherited. Disinherited. Edge. Father, hang in there. Please calm down. Genji, could you bring some water? Yes. Immediately. Ava, leave this place. He doesn't mean what he says. I will calm him down. Actual goat status from Genji again? Disinherited. If you won't listen to me, you're disinherited. Father was coughing pretty badly, and Nissan patted his back, as if it was a duty that was naturally his. It was so vexing for me to let him take that duty all for himself right then. If I carelessly approached Father at that moment, then I would probably be the one to get hit next. However, I fearlessly tried to approach Father's back. Genji blocked me. Ava, perhaps it would be better if you stepped outside for now. The master is not in a good mood today. But... Are you Buzz Lightyear? Why are my children so incompetent? Kraus is lacking in dignity. Ava is always a stubborn tomboy. I have no son who's like a man, and not even a daughter who's like a woman. Where did I go wrong in raising them? What about Rudolph? Why, Genji? When and where did I go wrong? Master, you haven't done anything wrong. Kraus has grown into a sturdy son, and Ava into a lovely daughter. You haven't made any mistakes. How can you say that? What's so lovely about her? Far from a lady. She's always acting like a man. Disinherited. Disinherited. Well, this would be Ava around college age, but Rudolph had to have been born by now. He's younger than Ava, but not by like 18 years. Father, that's just what I'm always telling Ava. Ava had promised that she will have a change of heart and act like a lady. Couldn't you postpone that decision for just a little longer? Who's a lady? Disinherited. Disinherited. Go quickly and leave this to me. Kraus gave me a look telling me that. Telling me that what? Or just telling me that. The thing that was said. Okay, got it. I read that wrong. Did I take the wrong path, just like Father and Nissan said? True, I never studied how to be a lady. Everything I've learned was done in the hopes that I could help Father someday. But is that really true? Haven't I always been trying to compete with Nissan, with whom I've had a bad relationship since I was a young girl? Because I wanted to steal his position as successor and show him a thing or two? Every chance he gets, Nissan tells me that men should be manly, and women should be womanly. I've been tormented by this unfair discrimination just because of my gender, something people are born with and can't do anything about. I resisted, endeavoring to this very day to study and prove that I'm not inferior, despite being a woman. But doesn't that mean that my love of learning comes entirely from a stupid complex I've got against Nissan? Still a good thing. Father wanted me to become a lady with whom he could go into public and not be embarrassed. Did I betray his hopes, earning good grades and threatening Nissan just to satisfy a childhood resentment? Is Rosa? Or is that Ava? That's not it. You swore to me, saying, I will become the successor to the Ushiromiya family. You. The one who was whispering to me was the me of my years as a young girl, born inside of my heart on the day I made that oath. That's right. She was my only ally. When things got difficult, when I felt like I was about to get crushed by it all, she would always quietly appear and support me. Inner childhood Ava, Pog. When I ran into roadblocks and despaired, she would always appear and support me. When I grew up and the memories of my childhood years faded, I also started to forget my conversations with her. I, Ushiromiya Ava, will definitely become the head of the Ushiromiya family, and I'll triumph over that irritating, arrogant Kraus. On that day, we promised to do our best together to achieve that. That's right. We promised. On that day, I promised that I would become the successor to the Ushiromiya headship. On that day, when I had been overcome with sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared from inside me and I lent you my strength, and lent me your strength. Father didn't accept me. I wanted to teach Nissan a lesson. I believed that doing this would let me say goodbye to a wretched creature that I once was. For a time, I truly believed that my life had no purpose other than to be looked down upon by Nissan. It's painful just remembering those days. They're a wound, a crack inside my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I turned my anger into effort and improved myself, trying to become a person more worthy of the headship than Kraus was. You are, Ava. Trying to triumph over him by make Father accept me. It was my perfect revenge. I was vaguely aware that a woman couldn't possibly become the family head, but I thought that maybe, if I could prove myself valuable enough to overturn that premise, then surely even Father would select me to be his successor. If that happened, then I'd be able to have the greatest and most perfect revenge against Nissan, who always acted like his succession to the headship was completely inevitable. That's right. If we can manage that, the wounds in our heart will be healed. We promised each other to do our best until that day comes. And now you're saying you're gonna break that promise? Scum. Coward. If only you'd just give up and die. Even though she looked like me as a kid, she was still another me. Her tongue was sharp because it was mine. It makes me pretty mad hearing that, even from myself. You have no right to speak of me like that. Then let's use that anger to fuel our learning. Changing anger into power is my magic. I've saved you from a bunch of tight spots with that power, letting you succeed when you shouldn't have. As long as you have my magic, there's nothing you can't do. That's right. Anger always has been my driving force. I wonder when it was I forgot that. If you can remember me again, that magic will become ours once more. Come on. Let's turn that anger into power and study even harder, okay? I know we still got a lot to learn. Let's go to college, study more and more, get excellent grades, and drive Kraus into a corner. That guy acted like we're nothing, but I'm sure he feels pretty well cornered on the inside. I feel like he'd just learn his place and die. If only he'd just learn his place and die. He did? We could become the head. Rudolph won't take the job. That kid can't go against us. Stop it. No matter how much more I study, Father still won't accept me. Why not? Father told me to be womanly. Because I'm a woman, no matter how hard I tried, Father wouldn't have passed the headship on to me, even if I had been born before Nissan. No matter how much effort I put in, I can't become anything more than a woman. I won't be acknowledged. Nissan doesn't try at all, but I can't surpass him. He'll look down on me forever. Father and Kraus are the worst kind of male supremacists. If only they'd just die. She cursed them for my sake. Words that I couldn't say so easily, she said for me. Even though I understand that she's just another part of myself inside of me, I feel like she's the only ally I have who can sympathize with me. However, while sympathy might do a lot to calm my heart, it won't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, she can only console me for however long it takes me to be dejected by reality, before I finally accept it. Thank you. You've done enough. Now that it's come to this, I'll become such a good lady that it'll shock even Father. I'll find an excellent man that Nissan can't even compare to. You can do it. She rejected my timid thoughts. I understand. Because she is me, I understand. All father said was that he won't let a woman succeed the headship now. But even that's just a rule father made up. Since he made it, he can get rid of it. Human feelings can change far more often than the number of sand grains on a beach. Kraus is such a stupid man that father eventually is going to realize it, even if we don't prove it for him. When that happens, the wall that separates man from woman will be demolished by father himself, who set it up in the first place. That day will surely come. How can you be so sure? Because that's my magic. If you just believe, this magic will surely summon a miracle. The basis of my magic is nothing more than your believing heart. Magic, you say? If I use this magic, then surely I'll never have to doubt until the day I die. Then I'll eventually become the head. But I don't know if that's the right thing for Ava. Maybe I should aim to become the kind of lady father wants. Someone who can proudly participate in high society. And if I'm reborn, maybe father will change his opinion of me. Maybe I can find my own lifestyle just as Nissan had found his. And anyway, I just can't imagine my stubborn father choosing a woman like me as the head. Especially if it means skipping over Kraus. You don't believe? I was just thinking, maybe I can't succeed the headship, but as a woman, I can have a child. And Nissan still isn't engaged. If Nissan isn't able to father a child, and I gave birth to one, then wouldn't that make my child the next head after Nissan? In other words, wouldn't that mean the same thing as stealing the headship from him? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. True, it'll be very sad to abandon the resolve I've had as a child. Since childhood, rather. It pains my heart to betray you, my younger self. But this is my most realistic option. Are you throwing away your dreams? And me as well? I'm not throwing anything away. I'm an adult, and the day has come for me to part ways with you. That's right. Ava's already become an adult. She's even forgotten how to use magic. And now she's the mother of a single child. She forgot all about how magic can grant one's own dreams. And now she's forcing those dreams onto her son. Even though father and Kraus ruined your life, you're trying to push your dreams onto your son, ruining his life. Is that what you call being an adult? That is kind of being an adult. George is a son I'm proud of, one who won't embarrass himself no matter where he goes. The dream I wasn't granted might come true for George. Jessica's a delinquent in both her grades and her behavior. And she's a woman. If only Jessica would step down, George would become the heir. Even saying it was painful. Am I just forcing my own regrets onto George? You're becoming Kinzo, Ava. It's not like I have any right to look on Jessica with scorn. Wasn't I just horrible for hitting her with the same words that had caused me so much suffering? Okay, good, you're realizing. I understand. The desire to triumph over my brother is part of my own personal revenge. I can't use George for that. So I'll take revenge myself. I have a plan to cheat Nissan out of his money, with Rudolph and Rosa as my allies. I'll surely be able to get back at him. In any case, I'm sure that Nissan is embezzling father's assets. What a boring plan. Why don't you just give up on that and cry yourself to sleep? We will become the Ushiromiya family head. Don't mistake what your dream actually is. And believe me when I say it'll definitely come true. Believe in my magic. If I believe, I wonder if any power will dwell in that magic. It will. My magic can grant any wish with certainty. Any wish with certainty. The Witch of Certainty, Lambda Delta. Lambda Delta is the Witch of Certainty. What did she look like? She was blonde though, right? She didn't have Ava's hair color. I'll believe. I'll believe, so create a miracle with that magic. If you don't, the hole in my heart will never heal. If that's Lambda Delta, though, she's allied with Beatrice in this game. Then listen well. Listen to my magic words. And understand, if we can solve the riddle, we can become the Ushiromiya family head. So lend me your ear and listen carefully. That wouldn't be Baron Castell. Behold the Sweetfish River running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the Golden Land follow its path downstream reaches. Ava? It looks like we're about to arrive. When Kairi shook her shoulders, Ava jumped and awoke from her doze. Ah, I'm sorry. I was half asleep. Sorry to scare you. Aunt Ava, you were out cold. Did you get up early this morning? Maybe. I'll let you all see something embarrassing. I'm sorry. Well, I'd say it's pretty impressive you were relaxed enough to sleep. Why is Jessica on the boat? Battler kept yelling, "We're gonna fall! We're gonna drown!" Why is Jessica on the boat? Can't get bored with this guy around. Was she at the dock after they landed on the plane? She must have been. Shut up. All humans have at least one thing they're weak against. Battler and Jessica came in messing around. Rudolph also made a face as if asking, "Are you okay?" Get a hold of yourself. When we see Dad and the rest, all that sleepiness will go right out the window. Let's all give it our best, okay? That's right. We have to keep it together, especially this year. That's it. Let's all tighten our assholes and go. Rudolph said the strict words in a small voice that only Ava could hear. Failure would not be tolerated in this year's family conference. All of their companies were hanging in the balance. Even Rudolph's face looked a little tense. Ava's expression probably looked tense as well. Mom, I have our luggage. Let's go up on the deck. Thank you. You are really considerate, George. Why are you thanking me so suddenly? It's not like you, Mother. Ava, George, we're there. Grab our luggage. We're there. We're there. Oh, God, here we go. Hey, Maria. Stop running or you'll trip. It seemed Maria was already getting excited. She ran circles around Hideyoshi, escaping from Rosa, who was trying to catch her. Oh, she said something. Do you feel sick? George, take our luggage and go on ahead. Your mother's probably feeling anemic, so I'll lend her a hand. Really? Okay, I'll head out first. Something odd in Ava's expression told Hideyoshi that it hadn't been a pleasant awakening, so he made George go on ahead. Good husband. Rudolph's family and Rose's family also went up to the deck, leaving only Ava and Hideyoshi inside the boat. Ava had a vague expression on her face, and though she still hadn't been able to escape from her daydream. What's wrong? Why the meek face? I wonder if I'm using George as a tool for my own revenge. I wonder if my childish hostility towards Nissan has caused me to treat that child's life like a toy. What have I done? That's not true. George is our wonderful son, and he'll always perform admirably wherever he goes. Ava, even if you let your own hopes get in the way a bit, everything turned out okay in the end, hasn't it? You haven't done anything wrong. In fact, George is grateful for the strict discipline you gave him, right? Really? Hey, really? George doesn't think I'm a terrible mother, does he? Does he? He's never said anything like that. Not even once. You're just worrying too much. Hideyoshi-sama. Everyone has left the boat. Oh, did you lose something? Do you need a hand? Kumasawa had come to check on them when they hadn't gone up on the deck. Hideyoshi hid Ava behind his back so that her expression would not be seen. Yeah, sorry. My necktie pin just got a bit crooked. We're fine. We'll be out in a sec. Wait outside for us. Is that so? Ho ho. Then I will wait outside. Kumasawa realized that something had come up and disappeared so that she didn't trouble them further. If they stayed here any longer, that would probably make everyone else worry too. About time to go. We'll make George and the rest worry. George really doesn't despise me? Yeah, nothing of the sort. In fact, he's very grateful. Did you have a nightmare? Again? Yes. Hideyoshi knew that Ava was often tormented by nightmares, and they always grew more marked on the days leading up to the family conference. Hideyoshi knew that Ava's relationship with Kraus was still full of antagonism, to the point of being traumatic. and that she still couldn't let go of the feelings she had as a child. That was a dream. I'm with you now. If I grasp your hand like this, that dream will go away. Right? Look, I'm holding tight. God, they're the best couple. That hurts, thank you. I'm fine now. Let's get off the boat. Yeah, let's get off the boat. Everyone's waiting for us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I yelled at you about the smoke from your cigarette just now. Hideyoshi for S-tier husband? I would say so. I think he's one of the best, like, he's one of the best people in the family. Come now, you normally wouldn't apologize for that sort of thing. You're all frail after having that dream. Don't worry about it. I was wrong for not realizing that the smoke was affecting you. Have you started to hate me? No! What? If I hated you after something like that, we wouldn't have lasted 3 days. Come on, stand up. Let's get off this boat. Find you a man like Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi, Eva, is everything alright? Are you not feeling well? This time it was Goda. It looked like he'd kept everyone waiting too long after all. Even Eva had to stand up without grumbling now. She had to stop forcing her bad mood onto her husband and causing him any more trouble, because that wasn't something a good wife would do. Is everything okay? If it's a matter concerning your health, shall I call Dr. Nanjo? Thanks, but I'm just feeling a little anemic. I'm fine now. It's a woman's disease. Don't worry about it. What the fuck? Come on, man. Don't say stuff like that in front of people. It's embarrassing. Oh, sorry. Eva elbowed Hideyoshi in the gut. By that time, her normal expression had returned, which allowed Hideyoshi to relax a little. The bright sunlight outside almost made her dizzy. A small plank for getting off the boat was lowered, and Goda was waiting there, smiling and ready to lend a hand. Please, Eva-san. Your hand. Thank you. Welcome to Rokkenjima. Welcome back. Rokkenjima. This one had a picture of baby Eva as the achievement. Huh? When she left the boat, it seemed to Eva as though she heard a voice of her younger self. No, it hadn't seemed that way. Someone had told her, welcome back. After becoming a shameless adult, the voice of her young self was distant. Oh. What am I living for? What can I do to release myself from this obsession? Hideyoshi heard her talking to herself. When Hideyoshi held on tightly to Eva's shoulders, his firmness alone told her that there was no need to say any more. Maybe it was because the typhoon was getting closer. The lively cries of the seagulls, which usually greeted them when they arrived, couldn't be heard at all. Interesting. I'm going to take a short break to turn off the pre-rolls. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
6年前のことか。
Come back. Got a cookie. Boom, 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 boom. Back. How far into chapter 3? Only like the first chapter or so. They just got to the island.
何しろ6年って言ったら小学校丸々一つ分じゃねえか。
Did you know when Seth dashes he says cookie? I did know that. I feel like Seth would really like Oreos or like EL fudges, and he would like pluck them apart before eating them, but he would get like really upset if the cream or the fudge didn't like evenly distribute, where it like all went to one side. If it was like half and half but not like perfectly half and half, I feel like that would really upset him when you split the cookie in half, and he would probably like mope about it a little bit. But then like he would still eat the cookie, but he would try to hide that he's like eating it because he doesn't want people to know that, like, you know, it bothers him, but it doesn't bother him so much that he's gonna not eat the cookie.
覚えてろってのが酷な話だぜ。
6 years ago. I was still in elementary school back then, right? It's pretty unfair to expect me to remember everything, don't you think?
そうだね。
True.
特に
Especially because we were so young. We've grown a lot in those 6 years.
大きな成長の6年間だった
Yeah. Right? Yeah, obviously.
案外
If I hadn't been introduced, I might not have even remembered you.
そうかな
Really? I figured he was Battler right away. And when he opened his mouth, I was sure.
うんマリア初めて
I just met him for the first time.
6年前
Didn't know him 6 years ago.
そうですよね
That's right.
マリア様は
Maria was only 3 years old then.
それを言われたら
Well, same goes for me. I only knew Maria when she was 3. And since she's grown so big, of course I wouldn't recognize her.
そりゃわからね
At lunch, we had gone out to the beach to walk around, talk, and take it easy. Our parents were apparently having a suspicious, complicated discussion, so we ended up leaving them behind. Well, just as I'd guessed from the start, the conversation focused on me, since I'd been away for 6 years.
しかし
Still,
本当に
you've gotten really
失礼な
tall.
僕も低い
I
つもり
wouldn't call
はないけど
myself short, but your height really surprised me.
そうですね
That's right. I remember well what Battler was like 6 years ago,
覚えております
but I was surprised even so.
それでもだな
Yeah, seriously.
6年前
I can hardly believe this is the same Battler we knew back then.
みんな
I'm surprised how much everyone remembers about
俺
it.
なんか
My memory's all hazy.
だろうな
Yeah, I'll bet.
私たちの
Looks like it's taking you a while to remember us.
あれはちょっ
You know,
と傷つくぜ
That hurts a bit.
いや
Come on.
さすがに6
This was
年
6 years ago, right?
覚えてろって
I'm the one who has it bad, being forced to remember.
6年前のこと
Are you saying that you can't remember well because it was 6 years ago?
私は
I can remember it as clearly as if it happened yesterday.
鮮明に
シャノンは記憶
Well,
力がいいか
your
ら
memory's great after all, Shannon.
6年前に
You remember the kind of things Battler did and said back then pretty clearly, don't you?
とか
そういやそうだ
Come to think of it, that's right.
シャノンって
Shannon's memory can be incredible when you'd least expect it.
おーマリア
I'm horrible at remembering.
楽しいこと
False, lies. I remember fun things, but I can't remember boring things at all. Well, that's because boredom is the enemy of the witch. We all laughed, saying that everyone was like that.
シャノン
Shannon,
ちなみに
by the way, what was Battler like 6 years ago? Remember any interesting episodes?
そうですね
Let's see. I'm sure that he said something like this when he left.
また来るぜ See you again
I'll be back. See you
きっ
again.
と白馬にまたがって
I'll surely come for you riding a white horse. Ah, so embarrassing. Cringe, cringe, point. Pepe point, he's cringe.
確か
That
に
sounds like something you'd say. Yeah, I remember always used to be full of those stupid lines, Battler. Ha!
確かに
Really does sound like something Battler would have said back then.
おー恥ずかしい
Embarrassing?
恥ずかしい
Is that embarrassing? Yeah, horribly so. Maria, I'm sure that when you're in middle school, you'll want to say embarrassing stuff like that. When that happens, make sure you write it down and read it 3 times before saying it out loud. If you don't, you'll definitely regret it. Still, everyone has to pass through that pitiful period. That's right. That's how you learn your place, learn shame, and become an adult. Coincidentally, that's also how you get good at fighting games. Yeah, it's one of those bittersweet things everyone does in adolescence and they transition to becoming adults. A memory you just want to forget. Yeah, me at 2:30 a.m. remembering that time that I said something really cringe in like 10th grade in front of like 4 people that I never have spoken to since and probably don't think about me ever. Yeah, they're probably thinking about that moment right now too. How cringe. Ugh. After all, this was the stuff that I'd let slip out without thinking, so I didn't remember the words exactly. But now, those words were being recited to me. They were as embarrassing as all hell. I only recently came to understand this weakness, and was working hard to avoid such careless outbursts, but I guess I'm just born with the habit of speaking without thinking, and there's nothing I can do about it. Shannon, do you remember any other embarrassing stuff? They're probably thinking about the same time, sometime they said something in front of you you thought they thought was cringe and you've completely Yeah! Yeah, well, I remember a few other things, but since it looks like the person in question wants to forget them, I think I'll refrain from saying any more. To be brutally honest, I don't remember this at all. Please, don't make me remember. Oh. Shannon's bullying Battler? You can't. You shouldn't bully people. Interesting. She isn't really bullying him. Let's leave it at that, okay? But Shannon, you'll have to tell me all about it when Battler's not around. Sounds pretty interesting. Certainly. Oh no, cringe. For a while, George laughed at me and thought as though warming up for when Shannon would tell him more about my embarrassing misspeaks. George looked like he was flirting with Shannon, and he seemed somewhat open and frank about it. He was always that way with his cousins, but he usually took on a reserved, gentlemanly attitude when he came in contact with the servants. When I thought about it, I got the feeling he was being a bit overly friendly, which seemed strange. Maria started scribbling in the sand with a stick, and George and Shannon joined in. They left me and Jessica off to the side, so I asked her secretively, "Hey, Jessica, is George going out with Shannon?" Oh! How'd you guess? If this took place in 2009, George would definitely have a fedora. Yeah. George would be peak V for Vendetta Reddit cringe. Huh, what? I was just kidding, but they're actually going out? Shh, it's a secret. It looks like they're keeping it a secret. It'd be better if nobody found out about it, especially Aunt Ava. I see. Love with a servant, huh? Yeah, but since when? I guess a lot can happen in 6 years. Aniki's an amazing person, though, and Shannon seems kind and brave. They might make a pretty good match. Actually, 6 years ago, I remember taking notice of her just a little bit. I see. She really fits well with George. Nothing I can do about that. Goodbye, my fleeting first love of 6 years ago. Which means that the collection of embarrassing lines Shannon had just held back on probably had something to do with that. I can't take it. How long have they been going out? Depends on what you call going out, but I think it's been at least a year. But if you count the time they both had one-sided feelings, it would probably be longer. Before I realized that the two of them had separated themselves from the group and were walking down the beach, talking about something. They looked calm. And rather than a light relationship between two lovers, they looked like a more serious one, as though they were already engaged. 6 years, huh? That's a long time. What did those 6 years mean to me? I've just gotten taller. Which, of course, entirely defines your personality in Battler's world. It was just a waste of time. 6 years I spent obstinately fighting with my dad. What about you, Battler? You got a girlfriend? I wonder. There's a few girls that I have fun with, but there's no only one. I guess I'm just a kid. I think it's more fun to be noisy with a large group of people than being alone with one person. That's so you, Battler. But your relationship with your female friends... Nobody silenced Battler? Hey, how tall are you? But take your relationships with your female friends seriously. When girls get the wrong impressions or form a group, it can be scary, you know? They might have secrets, feuds over you behind your back, with people getting hurt or crying. That's so weird. I think I remember getting the same bit of advice from one of the girls in my class just last week. What's that all about? Why can't everyone just have fun together? Do people really want to couple up that much? I don't get it either, Battler. It's probably because you never found a partner like that. Well, you might run into someone sooner or later. You just gotta wait patiently. Huh? Almost sounds like you've already found a partner like that. What about you? Have you got a boyfriend? Me? No, Come on, that reaction's so easy to understand. From the looks of it, there's some boy you're thinking about, but you haven't been able to confess to him yet. No, it's not like that. Shut up. Who cares about that? If you're the one who brought up the subject, why are you yelling at me now? Women are creatures who always ask questions, and yet almost never answer them. Ah, there's that Ushiromiya sexism. What cruel creatures, seriously. Well, I did try to confess once. I struck out pretty badly, though. Did you get an I'm sorry? No. My feelings were seriously one-sided, and they didn't really know how to respond, I guess. It was like they didn't view me that way at all. Yeah. Feels bad, Jessica. I can understand that. You talk like a man, after all. If you don't act a bit more graceful, you won't be able to catch a boy's interest. Not true. Is it really? The way I speak? Is it really that bad? Man. Well, how you talk isn't everything, but when people like you, who usually have a rough style of speech, suddenly start working hard to talk more normally, well, there are guys out there whose heart will skip a beat when they see how determined you are. Oh, is that true? I see. Yeah. Jessica suddenly started talking more meekly, and then her face instantly went slightly red. I see. Even though her confession didn't go well, it looks like she still hasn't given up. But still, I get it. After seeing how close George and Shannon have gotten, I also kind of want to find a girlfriend. 6 years. 6 years of puberty are pretty important, and they went by pretty fast. As the typhoon approached, the clouds grew steadily grayer, and even so, I had this really refreshing feeling. Maybe I'll try thinking more seriously about the opposite sex, more than just the size of their boobs. By the way, it looks like George is going out with a servant. Don't tell me it's the same for you. Huh? Why do you think that? Come to think of it, that kid Cannon, who greeted us in the Rose Garden. You were covering for him pretty intensely, considering it was just a little awkward at talking. No, that's not. Now you're getting paranoid. Then tell me one thing, right now, and say it in red. Is the boy you're after within 1 kilometer of this spot? Well, I wonder. Cannon was the only boy on this island now who could possibly become her boyfriend. So, judging by her reaction, I was right on. I didn't think of the Ushiromiya family as a noble family, but love with a servant? I wouldn't have dreamed that 2 pairs of Romeo and Juliet would be right next to me. Aunt Ava would probably become an obstacle to George and Shannon's love. If Aunt Ava ever learned that Shannon was the partner of her only beloved son, she'd probably scream at her for trying to steal away her precious George. And a relationship between Jessica and Cannon would probably be just full of difficulties. Aunt Nazi was also very strict about that kind of thing. After all, Jessica's husband would probably become the head of the Ushiromiya family in the future. If that person had once been a servant working for the family, well, things would get complicated. Well, love is different for every person. As long as you're with someone who's fun to be around, does anything else matter? When 2 people pair up, they don't need anyone's permission, as long as they accept each other. Worrying about what your parents or family will say means you've already lost. Don't forget that. You better not go out with someone with mixed feelings. Well, can't believe you're saying something so philosophical sounding when you haven't even been in love. Don't treat love like a matter of profit and loss. It's about heart. That's all I have to say. Well then, see you again. Have a nice day. Stupid. This guy, he said another one of those lines. No, I didn't say anything, I swear. Don't make fun of me. Come on. I heard it. For a while, we forgot that the wind was getting stronger and played around on the beach. I grew a lot these past 6 years, and being able to celebrate my youth and meet with all my cousins was truly refreshing. It was a bit late now, but I realized that I should have gotten back together with everyone a lot sooner and returned to the Ushiromiya family. I'm sure it's nice to have all the cousins together every once in a while. Yeah, I like it too. It's really fun when all the cousins get together. That's right. We're already old enough. It's not like we couldn't meet each other when our parents aren't around. It might not be a bad idea to gather the cousins together and play every once in a while. That's the classic. Every family gets together, all the cousins are like, yeah, let's get together. And then like they never do for another year. I love that scene. Yeah, that was a cute scene. That's a good plan. Maybe we'll set up something like that the next time we get a chance. Yeah, I agree. I hope we cousins can stay friends forever. Hey. If you make such a big deal of it, you almost make it sound like relatives usually end up hating each other. George and Jessica laughed and felt just a little strained. Did I say something wrong? Judging by how our parents made quiet expressions and tired faces every once in a while during the boat ride and at the airport, maybe I should have kept that to myself. What's up, Tiger? How you doing? Real? You're right. It's just like Jessica said. Let's always be friends to each other. Me too. We're all friends. That's right. Yeah. We'll always be together. We'll always be friends. Gonna flash them all dead or something. Man, we've been saying some pretty embarrassing stuff. I feel kind of awkward. But I think it's very important. People are creatures who find it very hard to stay together, much less remain friends, unless they truly desire it. That's right. You really can't take everyone being friendly for granted. Ooh, a witch I know said it. Happiness won't be granted unless everyone believes in it. Won't be granted unless everyone believes in it. That's true. Maybe some magic exists in the power of belief. That's true. Maybe some magic exists in the power of belief. If we all believe in that, I'm sure it will bring us happiness. Alright. Well, if we're doing embarrassing stuff already, let's all swear to believe in this together, okay? That way we will always be friendly, that we'll always be happy. Like hell we'll end up like our parents. As if we'd ever search for each other's weaknesses, going after grandfather's fortune. Okay. We'll always be friendly and happy. Let's all believe in that. No matter how much the cousins try to nostalgically have fun, dark clouds continue to approach Rokenshima. I wonder if that typhoon will pass and let us see the clear skies before we leave this island. Who cares about what our parents are planning? Who cares about the inheritance and the honor of our old family? As youthful as we were renewing our old friendship, and we all believed together that we could find happiness. That's why I want this pair of days to end without anything weird happening. In peace and happiness, and calmly. No, I don't just want them to end. Please let them end. Wait, what? Oh my god. A heart attack. Oh my god, dude. Let them end. Damn it, don't show up, don't appear. Damn it. Sorry to keep you waiting. I finally prepared a new game. It's called Five Nights at Freddy's. Come, let us begin a tale of tragedy. Come to me, winds, rains, typhoon. Cut this island off from the real world. Throw Rokenshima into another realm, into the spirit world, into a world of fantasy. Oh. And so the tale repeated for the third time. However, to an endless witch, what did it matter whether it was the first, second, or third time? It probably didn't matter at all. After all, this was a tale of fantasy, endlessly repeating until the match was settled. Would Battler surrender first, or would the witch? Then the sky grew dark and cloudy, and the rain and wind were summoned together and became a typhoon. Maria could be seen in the rose garden, paying no mind to the rain that had started falling, going around in circles searching for that single rose that should have been marked. It's not here. My rose that we marked isn't here. Maria definitely remembered it. That rose had been in the flower bed right here. And yet, it wasn't anymore. She didn't know what to do with her irritation and not being able to find something that should have been there. And moaning bitterly, she couldn't help but keep going back and forth in circles around the same spot. She was acting almost as though she'd been able to see it if she looked at a different angle. But even though she did that, there was no way to find something that wasn't there. The wind grew increasingly strong, and the rain turned into cold, large drops. There was no way even Maria would fail to notice this. However, if she couldn't find her rose here, it would surely disappear forever. Maria believed that. That feeling spurred her to keep searching for a rose that had no chance of finding. Just then, the cold drops of rain tormenting Maria were suddenly blocked. Maria raised her head. When she did, she saw an umbrella there, protecting her from the rain. And the one holding it was, of course, Beatrice. What are you doing so frantically in the middle of all this rain? You could catch a cold like this. Even witches have to care for their own health. I can't find my rose. No matter how many times I search, even though it should have been here, I can't find it. Maria told Beatrice about how there had been a slightly unhealthy, pitiful rose, and that she was sure they had marked it. Oh, so you can't find it. If you're a witch's apprentice, you should use magic to search for the rose. I believe that searching with just your eyes won't be nearly enough. Oh, I can't find it. I did my best and tried to search with magic, but I can't find it. I think practicing your magic is a very good thing, but it might be a little too much for you with all this wind and rain. Allow me to lend some special power. Concern for one's disciple is also of a teacher's duties. Oh, thank you, Beatrice. Maria's face, which had been full of sadness until just now, split open into a grin. Maria knew. She knew that there was nothing Beatrice's magic couldn't do. She was sure that Beatrice would be able to find the rose easily, even though Maria couldn't. Beatrice closed her eyes lightly, acting as though she was listening for something in all this wind and rain. And then she heard it, opened her eyes, and spoke. All things in this world are transitory. Too bad, Maria. It seems your rose couldn't withstand all of this wind and rain. Oh, my rose is no longer of this world. It was uprooted by the wind. What Beatrice had said was quite reasonable. There was nothing odd about the flower being broken off at the stem in this strong wind. However, Maria couldn't accept this and bitterly gave a low-pitched moan. No. Oh? No. It's my rose. My rose won't come back. Whoa, no? I'll bring it back to life with my magic. Beatrice, teach me how to revive a rose with magic. Ha. Much too early for an apprentice like you to learn the hidden art of endless magic. Know your place. Maria wiped the tears from her eyes, full of regret. Beatrice shrugged her shoulders and chuckled at Maria's pitiable expression. Very well. I will lend you my power, the hidden art that can revive a rose. Really? Indeed. Well then, concentrate the power of your heart. Close your eyes, forget the rain, forget the wind, and search for the soul of the wandering rose with the eyes of your heart. Maria closed her eyes. Then she repeated Beatrice's song-like words. Come, try to remember. Rose, what form did you have? Don't look, don't listen, and believe. Release the power of your soul from the cage of flesh that imprisons it. That's it. Good. Around Maria, who was concentrating her power, her eyes tightly shut, Small golden butterflies began to dance. Was this the manifestation of the magical power Maria held? Lost soul of the rose, gather into one and remember your form. Come, gather, remember. The glitter of the gold butterflies began to strengthen and their numbers increased. Then Beatrice raised a finger up to the skies, and they began to gather at the tip of that finger. This was the miracle of the golden magic. The gold butterflies began to condense into a single dazzling grain of gold. It was a single glittering gold seed. It rode on the tip of Beatrice's finger, budded into a golden sprout, and opened into a golden leaf. It then slowly fell from that fingertip, sank into the mud of the flower bed, and began to grow steadily. Maria, who admired magic and the witch, really wanted to see this fantastical sight. However, as an apprentice, Maria was still not qualified to see it. No, she was probably afraid that, if she opened her eyes to look, the power that she had concentrated in her heart would be cut off, and the magic would be lost. Therefore, Beatrice, as the only one permitted to witness this golden miracle, was the only witch, the sole master of many miracles. Then the fully grown rose bloomed, creating one golden flower, and when Beatrice poked it with her finger in just the right way, the gold-colored sparkle scattered, just as a golden soap bubble had popped, and what remained was a single, beautiful rose. Looks like you've remembered a splendid rose. However, if we just leave it mixed in with these other roses, you won't be able to tell it apart. Shall I perform one last service? Beatrice, for the sake of her cute apprentice, who was moaning even more now in concentration, decided to use just one more bit of magic. When she snapped her fingers, a single gold butterfly appeared, fluttered around, and landed on the flower that had been revived. Then it suddenly burst open and disappeared, becoming golden lace and marking the rose. That will do. Maria, you may open your eyes now. Oh, where's the rose? It's not here. Not over there. Over here. Look. I've marked it with golden lace. Wow, you did. Awesome. Thank you, Beto. I want to become a witch quickly. A great witch like you. And you can. Long ago, I too wished for that innocently, just as you do. And I have attained that level. Maria was ecstatic over the revived rose, clapped her hands, and jumped around in joy. Watching that, Beatrice also smiled, looking fairly pleased. By now, I can break and repair any soul if I try, not just that of a rose, and kill and revive as I please. Come, the barrier of the storm has now sealed Rokujima off from the natural world. Now it is time for the Golden Witch, Beatrice, to descend as an endless witch. Beatrice pulled from her pocket an envelope with the family crest, the one-winged eagle, and gave it to Maria. Maria frolicked around, being selected to be the witch's messenger. So, Kinzo, I've come to join in on your fun once more. My preparations are already complete. What of you? Have you prepared enough coins to bet in tonight's game? Hi, Himbo. Of course, I'm fully prepared, Beatrice. I've assembled a plethora of pieces. I'm ready both physically and mentally. So let us make the ante. All that you have given shall be returned to you in the end. Come, take it. Kinzo flung the window of his study wide open, took off the valuable golden ring that had been on his finger, threw it into the darkness of the raging wind and rain. That ring was struck by lightning, and after twinkling gold for an instant disappeared. Kinzo watched it go, grinning broadly and fearlessly. I don't think I'll lose. You are mine, forever. The ring that Kinzo had thrown became a single gold butterfly and fluttered around in the wind and rain. It headed for the rose garden, almost as though it was being guided there. It then found the figure of the golden witch and fluttered down. When it came down right in front of Beatrice, it burst open and returned to its original form, flying through the air. The way it was going, you would have expected it to fall into a puddle, but it stopped suddenly in midair, almost as if some transparent person had caught it. Apparently, even Beatrice hadn't expected this. However, she realized who it was and grinned broadly at it. This turns out to be some kind of whack-ass foreplay I'm uninstalling. Huh? Is this old Kinzo? Want to drop a smooch while I watch wrestling and have fun? Okay, enjoy wrestling. The person who had caught the ring began to fuzzily appear. It was a figure of a young man wearing a butler's uniform embroidered with the one-wing eagle crest. There was no man like this among the servants of the Ushiromiya family. Even so, Beatrice laughed as though it was someone she remembered fondly. Ronov. It's been quite some time. It seems you have remembered me. You were always a man who took loyalty seriously. Who is this fool? It has been quite some time since your last correspondence. Not for a single day have I, Ronov, forgotten that I serve you, milady. I was more afraid that you had forgotten about me. After all, you can be quite forgetful. I see, yes. I certainly am forgetful. I'd forgotten even your sarcasm until I heard it again. Milady, take this. With an exaggerated yet elegant gesture, he bowed respectfully, and he held out Beatrice the head ring that he had just caught. It's from the Ushiromiya family, head's ring, returned to you from Ushiromiya Kinzo. It is now once again in the possession of its master. This dude sounds like Kong Ming. Indeed. This is Kinzo's announcing the start of the game. Of course I'll accept it. How shall we play tonight? Shall I prepare the roulette immediately? Or shall I prepare some black tea first? I can't decide which, but first, I'll need you to greet someone. I'm sure that guy's got his mouth hanging open and can't shut it. Right? Battler? Greetings. Allow me to introduce myself. I am called Ronov, and I serve the side of Milady Beatrice. Renov, one of the 72 great demons, works for the master in exchange for various forms of compensation. He currently has a contract with Beatrice as her butler. He's become proficient at housekeeping after serving in many households, so his ability as a butler is very high. In the high society of witches, employing him has become a kind of status symbol. Furthermore, the cookies he bakes are superb, and witches will often form a line demanding them. He must possess tremendous magical power. But since he always stays out of the spotlight to further boost his master's reputation, his combat capabilities are unknown. I can't wait to see him fight Genji. Is it truly a pleasure to meet you? See? His mouth's hanging open and he can't shut it, right? Yeah, no shit. Another incomprehensible guy just showed up. First I grumble about goat-headed people doing the Bond dance, and then the goat head starts showing up in swarms. Since then, not only have these 7-ass Naisans appeared, but now there's even a butler? Doesn't make sense. Cut it out. By the way, Battler, did you notice? Did you realize that meeting him is a true devil's proof? A devil's proof? What do you mean? He may not look it, but this guy is one of the 72, a genuine demon. In other words, I brought a demon right in front of you, which truly proves they exist. That is kind of funny. Ronov holds a noble rank in hell, the 27th highest ranked great demon. He's a pretty useful man. I summoned him at the high cost and made him serve me. It's an honor to meet you. While my name is amongst those in the nobles of hell, I now serve as the head furniture of Beatrice, who despite being a vulgar human, is a great witch of such caliber that demons flee before her. He's a very useful man, but he's impudent with his words. Frustratingly enough, he sometimes forgets to respect his master. Nothing in my contract specifies the manner in which I am to speak. Would you like to change that contract? It keeps me entertained, so no, it's fine. Ha. Beatrice turned her back to him, cackling. After bowing once to her back, Renov turned back to Battler and stuck out his right hand, showing off an innocent smile. Normally, this would mean that he was asking for a handshake. What's that supposed to be? I am another who has been subjected to Milady's whims. In that sense, I am sure we could become good friends. This is a handshake of friendship. Of course, this in no way implies your eternity into a contract with a demon. So fear not. Sorry, but I'm right in the middle of a big fight with your master. I only shake hands with an enemy after we've beaten each other up in a rainy schoolyard and are all worn out. Like something you'd see in a teen drama. Remember that? I see. To shake hands with you, Battler, I must create a fitting atmosphere in a suitable location. Exchanging sweet words and physical language with you that rings true to your heart. When that opportunity arises, I shall arrange for such an encounter. I must say, I simply love situations like that myself. As Renov laughed tauntingly, he whispered to Battler, bringing his face so close that their noses were almost touching. Battler, his face turning red after getting so close to another of the same sex, pushed him away. You're a creepy bastard. Just right for Beato's butler. It is an honor to receive such words of praise. I'm very confident in my tea brewing abilities, so please look forward to tea time. Baking cookies is one of my hobbies, so please feel free to request any snacks you may desire. Just what I'd expect from a pair of the same gender. You've started getting along well right off the bat. I'm jealous. My. I apologize for making you jealous, milady. I shall not sneakily snatch your guest away from you. Well then, I will leave for now to retake my post as head furniture and greet my subordinates. Please, forgive my short absence. Indeed. Only the common goats and the 7 sisters used for the ceremony have manifested themselves. You will be able to finish greeting them in no time. Oh, those lively 7 sisters are here. I wonder if those naughty girls have grown a little more graceful. If that's graceful, I'll have to doubt the definition of the word graceful. Is that so? Then I suppose you've already had the opportunity to play with them. Judging by your expression, it would seem that they are just as naughty as always. Even though I'm always telling them to act more fitting as servants of Beatrice. What troublesome kids. If that's your problem, don't worry. They actually act perfectly fitting for their master. Haha. Now you have even begun to say it. However, a conversation means that you accept your partner. The fact that you've started to respond to my idle chatting proves that you are gradually starting to accept my existence. That's because, even if the sun starts rising from the west, I will definitely, absolutely, never accept that you're a witch. You might want to try a more positive approach, like crying and kissing my shoes. Even if Battler was bluffing, he still spoke forcefully, a fearless expression on his face. The witch and her butler snickered together, realizing that their guest had regained more than enough of his willpower to attend a new game, and that preparations were complete. As Renov exchanged a few words with Beatrice, he bowed silently to Battler, scattered into several gold butterflies, and disappeared. It is truly pleasing to have such a boisterous atmosphere. How boring were the days when I was trapped alone on the island, unable to regain my power and lacking anyone to talk to. I get how that unpleasant guy is really fitting as your butler. But tell me, why has that butler only appeared now? You said something about how only the goats and Nachans had manifested themselves. What did that mean? Indeed. You still resist, but I am a fully fledged witch. I am in a contract with several non-human entities in the spirit world. I'll bet. No sane people would hang out with you. First some goat monsters, then those ass Nachans. This time a demon butler's shown up. I hate to think about it, but the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if even more weird people appeared. Among the furniture that work in my great golden mansion, how many demons do you think want to come over and play? They will keep coming. Many of them will appear. When the door to the Golden Land is opened, I will call back all of my furniture and build my new castle here on Rokenjima. Then I plan to invite all of my old friends, and we will drink and dance together for 3 days and 3 nights. Of course, I also plan to invite Kinzo's family, you see? You too, if you wish. So this is what you mean. That since you lost your power for a long time, you couldn't summon them. And then, since your magic power has been gradually increasing, you've become able to summon more and more monsters. It is as you say. You stopped a hair's breadth before crumbling, but your heart is already wavering, and you are unable to deny that I am a witch. The wavering in your heart has been slowly restoring my power as a witch. So you're trying to say that creepy butler appeared because I started to surrender? That's right. Bit by bit, you are surrendering to me. Isn't it all the humiliation you suffered in that last game a result of you submitting to me so deeply? Wasn't it great when you had to sacrifice your back for the sake of my feet? Haha! Damn it. I thought I'd be able to keep things as they were, as long as I didn't accept you. But it looks like I was wrong. Correct. The closer you get to surrendering, the more the game will swing in my favor. Isn't chess the same? In the process of cornering each other's kings, we trade several pieces. Of course, I still haven't cornered your king. Furthermore, you're giving it everything you've got just to help your king escape, and you have lost several pieces to me, as well as a large advantage. It is only natural that further developments will tend to turn in my favor. Damn. From now on, you will probably be frantic as you try to avoid my checkmate. However, as you do, I will steal your pieces from you, one by one. In the end, you have lost everything but your king, and you won't be able to escape no matter how much you try. Then, you will receive a true checkmate. You were talking big last time, weren't you? Something about how you'd never accept me and would torment me with eternal torture? Only witches who have reached the endless level can talk about eternity. That's been beyond you ever since the very beginning. Pretty good, pretty good. A lot of stuff to come. Kinzo-sama has already publicly displayed the location of his hidden gold within the epitaph under my portrait. The rules apply equally to all who can... You discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. Oh, it's Maria. Tonight I ask you... Oh, okay, this is her reading the letter. When Maria finished reading the letter that Beatrice handed her, everyone was at a loss for words for a while, and then they all broke the silence at once. Ridiculous. What a worthless, vicious prank. Seriously, there's no way Father gave up the head's ring. Beatrice? Ha. What a transparent prank. Hoping to confuse us just by bringing up that name. Hey, hey. Who filled this dessert up with a little too much punch? Yeah, that's right. Rudolph got like, I want to applaud and praise you, so come clean, okay? Rosa? Of course not. I wouldn't pull a prank by assuming Father's name. Aniki? Aniki? Me? Are you an idiot? It was Nissan, right? Only he could plan something this vulgar. Are you trying to mock me? I'm the one who wants to question you. Who is behind this ill-natured prank? Kraus beat the table and stared at everyone. Since that included the children too, he scared most of them. A letter from a mysterious person who claims to have been given full rights to Father's assets. Considering that the whole point of this family conference is the discussion of that subject, I think it's too hasty to call this a mere prank. We can't be sure. Maybe it really is one of Father's shady pranks. He might have planned this to shock us a bit, since we've been discussing the distribution of his inheritance without him. Dad were the one who planned this. Then we can't take that Maria-chan just read aloud as a joke, right? That's right. We interpret the contents literally, then this is a test from Father. The epitaph of the witch has been displayed in the hall for quite some time now, so that any one of us could solve it. There's plenty of notice. That means he was saying that the first person to solve it would be handed the inheritance along with all of his wealth, right? See? My magic granted your wish. Oh, the inner Ava. Nothing so foolish could possibly be the case. It's an unshakable fact that my husband is the successor to the Ushiramiya family headship. Well, doesn't this letter shake that? This is a message from the person who was given full rights to all of Father's wealth. Nissan's right to become the head. Nissan's right to become the head has returned to a blank slate. The person who solves the riddle, the person who finds Beatrice's gold, will become the next head of the Ushiramiya family. Ridiculous. You think we can trust the meaningless words in that letter? That seal was the real thing. That seal was the real thing? There's no way we could trust that. Then let's go and ask Father directly. At this point, you can't get away with saying he's grumpy or feeling bad, right? The sealed wax clearly shows that this was from Father's representative. If you doubt that, then show some proof, Nissan. Show that this letter does not contain Father's will. Very well. It's just as you say. It no longer matters whether Father's in a good mood or not. Let's go up and ask him directly. Yeah, let's do it. We'll ask Dad directly. Dad is Dad, so why would he act in such a roundabout way? Then again, I guess that would be like him. I wonder if we really should continue this discussion on the assumption that this letter came from Father. Stupid Rosa. Isn't it obviously from Father? That letter is Father's. Isn't it obvious that he's giving the four of us an even chance to become the successor? Oh my god. Die, you brainless idiot. Rosa really is dumb. If only she'd just give up and die. Oh, Ava's gonna end up killing everybody in this episode, for real, for real. I'm sorry, that's right. I'm sorry. In the beginning, the adults had all doubted the credibility of the letter. But after realizing that this was a once-in-a-lifetime chance in the inheritance struggle for the three younger siblings, Ava changed her position, claiming that the letter was authentic. Rudolph and Rosa caught on and agreed. Outrageous! How can adults like you take such a worthless prank this seriously? I don't need to be Father to understand his contempt. Natsuhi, all we've got to do is ask Father and we're done, right? Won't everything be fine if he just tells us that he doesn't know about that letter? Nissan, take responsibility and just get him to say that he doesn't know about the letter. This is no time to get scared. It's no time to get scared because he's in a bad mood, okay? He's still scared of Father at his age. That idiot. If only he'd just give up and die. Yeah, let's get this settled clearly. He's probably eating in his study right now. Let's have him set down his chopsticks for just a moment. It's decided. Let's go. Kiri, wait here for a while. We'll go to check whether it's true or not and come back quickly. Thank you. I'll wait patiently for Goda to bring in dessert. The four siblings, Natsu and Hideyoshi, all rose from their seats forcibly and flew out into the hallway in a clatter. Afterwards, only the children, stunned completely speechless, Nanjo, who looked uncomfortable, and Kiri, who just shrugged, were left. And I'm going to stop there. Hideyoshi's peak male performance. Where am I? Why did I disappear again? Okay. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Fun night. Fun night. Happy Monday. Hope your week is going well. Goodbye. I will be streaming again Wednesday, which will probably be the last stream for a whole week after that, because then I'm traveling for some Grand Archive tourneys. So today we had tonight. We'll have a Wednesday. And then probably a good week and a half of no streams. So thank you for the good luck. I'm going to raid out. And then I will catch you all next time. Win? I do. Oh, excuse me. I certainly hope to win. I'm going to raid Rysair. He hangs out in the stream a lot. And he is streaming. Hopefully he's streaming something cool. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.